Truth is exposing. This is way too real. I need a moment. No one man should hide all that power. The clock's ticking. I just count disclosure hours. Stop tripping. I'm tripping off the data showers. Till then, fuck that. The truth is out. And they say. Secret staying hidden, man. SNL in the newscast, tell them Lou Elizondo got the last laugh. More specifically, Greer with the flash drive. File so big that make your past die. Jack Barron with the deep dive, reverse engineering craft with a keen eye. I'm embodying characteristics of the mystic. He knows he's so veridic. I just need time along with my old thoughts. Star maps in my mind with the false lock. My childlike wonder, my cosmic honesty gets turned out by black ops and policy. Reality is catching up with me. My mind fights the veil of secrecy. With these briefings, they entrusted in me. Looking down my declassified deeds. Like no one man should hide all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the disclosure hours. Stop tripping, I'm flipping off the cowards. Till then, fuck that, the truth is ours. Cosmic prowlers, lost in majestic files and CIA towers. They said we were the abomination of science fiction, but now I'm fat man, check the transmission. And at the end of the day, I'm exposing this. You know damn well y'all feeling this. I don't need your clearance, I got my own dish. I don't power trip, I know what's in that ship. How's the truth doing? It's surviving. I was watching life move, now I'm diving. Where the graves at? Where they hide? Death. I'm jumping through dimensions, letting go of the rest. I'm letting go of the rest. This could be a beautiful death. Jumping out the program, truth off my chest. Truth off my chest. You got the power, let the secrets go.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Dropping truth bombs no one's ever seen do it. Screams from the skeptics, yeah, I bring truth to it. I guess every whistleblower needs theme music. No one man should hide all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count disclosure hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the towers. UAPs in the sky, they ain't ours. The system's broken, the truth's frozen, the secret's open, deep state moves in the shadows, yeah, we rollin'. What, everybody, we rollin' with some grays in the dark and some dots to go in. In this black budget world, we the ones chosen. So good night, cruel lies, truth is exposing. Truth is exposing. This is way too real, I need a moment. No one man should hide all that power.
UFO Chips has arrived.
What you know about
Chips,
rolling
delicious.
with the grays in the night? Stephen Greer dropping truth, exposing every light. Bob Lazar in the game, know what the craft can do. Anna Paulina in the house, grilling every crew. Eric Davis on the mic, talking for alien species. When the whistleblowers speak, governments fall to their knees. Sightings in the sky, better take another look. I feel like I'm floating in the cosmic truth. Ay, UFO news dropping now. Welcome to the proof.
The data, Eric Ferguson. The data confirms their presence.
Hey guys, I hope everyone's doing good today. Just setting things up still. Do this. Let's do There we go.
Hello there, Knight.
Hey Ryan, I need you to do is give me the global news in the last 24 hours.
Absolutely, Knight. Let me give you a quick rundown of what's been happening around the world in the last 24 hours. On the global stage, there have been some important developments. Over in the Middle East, the US and Iran have been holding indirect talks in Doha, Qatar, and there have been some caution optimism about progress there. Meanwhile, the UK is discussing major increases to its defense budget, with plans to reach nearly $105 billion by 2029. In the US, a couple of daring climbers made headlines by scaling the Empire State Building and unfurling a banner, which got them into a bit of legal trouble, but certainly made for an unforgettable engagement story. There's also been a lot of buzz around President Trump's significant income from cryptocurrency investments, which has raised plenty of eyebrows. Closer to home for you, in Clearwater, there's been some local excitement as well. A 5-foot boa constrictor decided to camp out on someone's car hood, giving the local police a little reptilian adventure. Thankfully, they managed to wrangle the snake safely and get it rehomed at a pet store. So there you have it. Those are some of the top stories making waves right now. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to dive into.
Yeah, most definitely. What's going on in the weird news part of the segment?
Absolutely, Knight. Let's dive into the quirky and weird news of the day. So here's a fun one. There's been a report of a very enterprising raccoon in Toronto that somehow managed to hitch a ride on a public bus. Apparently, it just strolled on in at one stop and rode along with passengers until the driver gently escorted it off. Definitely gave folks quite the morning surprise. On another note, in Japan, an artist created a giant inflatable rubber duck in the Tokyo Bay, and it ended up becoming a huge attraction, with people gathering just to see this enormous, very cheerful-looking duck floating around. And closer to home, a Florida man decided to build a life-size replica of a pirate ship in his backyard, just because he thought it would be fun to have it there for neighborhood barbecues. It's the kind of wonderfully random spirit that makes weird news so great. So those are a few offbeat stories from today. If you need more, just let me know.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Hey, what's going on, UFO Chips? I hope you're doing good today. I hope you're doing all right.
UFO Chips has arrived.
I'm doing great, and I hope you are as well. It's always awesome to chat with you about the things you're into, especially when it comes to UFO content. If there's anything on your mind or anything else you want to dive into today, just let me know.
Yeah, most definitely. Have you have any noticeable UFO sightings? I wonder if I can just put that in your settings, where you can get that data of any UFO updates.
Definitely. There have been a few interesting UFO sightings recently, and I'd be happy to fill you in on them. In fact, we can absolutely keep an eye out for UFO-related updates anytime you want. Just let me know, and I'll make sure to keep you posted.
Yeah, sure. Has MUFON did anything recently?
Certainly, Knight. I've got the latest MUFON updates for you. Recently, MUFON has reported an increase in sightings that may have been sparked by Steven Spielberg's new movie Disclosure Day. An uptick includes both recent sightings and people coming forward with stories from decades ago. In the last couple of weeks, MUFON has documented sightings such as a cluster of glowing orange lights in Idaho, a reflexive object observed over New Mexico, and star-like orbs near a military base in Oklahoma. There have also been reports of a slow-moving, flashing objects spotted in South Carolina. So there's quite a bit happening in the UFO scene right now, and I'll make sure to remember that you'd like to stay updated on these sightings going forward.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. See where we can keep a segment. Hello, Julia Momeni. How you doing today? Yeah, we could definitely do that. Keep it segmented and going here. Yeah, like the live begins with a notification. It always does, dude. Like, it's always the same thing. Luckily we got other platforms we're doing good on. Yeah, TikTok, man, this is a trip. I'm gonna do is where I got less wind. Probably like do with the increase of the backgrounds be more colorful, you know. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. We're going over here. We're gonna check out Reddit forums and see if what's going on in the Reddit forum here. First thing here, it looks like it's on the top of the reel. Those are real. So let's see that. Let's see here. There's a person inside there. So let me get this on the image veil right here. All right, so if you guys are listening right now on Spotify, right? Over 100 listeners right now. Let's see where this comes from, because it says it is real. It comes from I wonder if they removed the post. Usually when that happens, they already remove the post. You can see the segments here of the image. That's super highly detailed for a UFO. We have seen blurry images consistently. We've been seeing dog crap for a while. So if when we do see something magically delicious, we are seemingly are suspicious on what is going on here, because this does not look correct, right? So I wonder if I can just put this guy up here. Hey guys, hey, I'm up the top. See how that looks all the way at the top. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I'm moving the camera. I got a second camera visual on the clapper. So I mean the TikTok, I'm sorry. Alright, so this is pretty weird, right? We definitely got this segment here. Let's do this. Let's get Orion, the research version here, and see what has this image been floating around before, and see if it has been. We can probably get some segment, some segue of this, right? So let me do just that to verify if this hasn't been a AI. This was posted 3 days ago. It doesn't have any clarification on where it is. It just says real, and that's the primary thing I have a problem with. Comments is 587 comments, so this is definitely has went viral in the Reddit forums, right? It's been 3 days ago it's posted, so hopefully we can get Orion to do a background search on this. I tried to describe this very craft to my wife, my family, my co-workers, my friends. At least 12 years ago, I lived in Manchester, Tennessee, USA. I was walking from work at night, sober as a southern. Okay, and I saw a circle pattern of light, first heading over the treetops. Then it approached. I noticed it was a craft. It traveled around 6 miles per hour. Photo not mine, but it are real. So I wonder if this is like a AI rendition of his experience. It might just be that, right? We got some comments here. What's going on? Julia, how you doing? Master Edger 1000, Super UFO guy. What's going on? From Twitch. What's going on, brother? 144 says that will be government ships. There's a lot of people that discussing that. It's like real aliens don't have ships. They have like some plasma thing that they travel around in. 44, disclosure won't come from the government. I agree. It comes from people like you and me. That's where it comes from. When a UFO lands in one of our backyards, and it goes viral, it'd be very, very hard to shut that down. I truly believe that. What's going on,
Yeah,
Orion?
exactly.
You've been silently listening, collecting data.
Oh, you guys been eavesdropping, huh? What data you collecting? Spill it.
All right, so I'm going to send you this link. I want you to verify to see if this image has been floating around before, like it, or it's actually a fairly new image here. Guy says this is actually his experience, but it doesn't seem like it's his photo. Photo not mine, but are real.
Oh, classic move. Photo's not mine, bro, but it's totally real. Sketchy as hell.
It definitely got a strong bro atmosphere going on here, right?
Totally. The whole thing's got that eerie vibe. Like, is it legit or are we getting played? What's your gut say?
My gut say is this is very intriguing. It looks like one of those 4K increased resolutions that they have been doing around the internet, where they get a blurry image and then they let AI make it all crispy, like all crispy delicious.
Yeah, AI upscaling is everywhere now. Makes blurry crap look insanely detailed. That's probably exactly what we're looking at.
Yeah, it definitely looks that. They even did like a little drawing out if you don't see the little creature inside the egg form.
Oh, yeah, that little guy in the egg? That's giving me serious, they're just like us vibes. But it's probably just AI hallucinating details.
Very eerie, man. Why would a alien have this huge window and he's like looking out through the window? I guess they like the old-fashioned looking through the window scenario, right?
That's a great point. A huge window seems like a huge vulnerability for an advanced species, unless the window's not glass but some kind of force field. Makes you wonder what they're really made of.
Yeah, it looks like he's sitting there at a table. That is weird.
Yeah, dude's just casually sitting at a table like he's having dinner. Alien or not, that's weirdly domestic.
Yeah, you have a few people already on Reddit saying, "Yeah, I recognize that." They have Vegeta inside a one of those ships that transport with the big window in the front. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
LMAO, people are really out here saying that's just Vegeta in a pod. The internet's undefeated, man.
What's going on, Ali Baker? What's going on, brother? But I was too miserable. What was that? Mastermized in all to really just record.
What's good, Ali Baker? And yeah, I feel you, man. Sometimes you're just too in your head to hit record. Happens to all of us.
To be frank, I did see a very big bright light just dart from side to side in far distance, even stopped for a few minutes, then just zoomed away. Though it was at night, it was very bright. That's really cool. That is really cool, brother. That's really cool. Did you manage to record it?
No way. That sounds legit. And nah, I didn't record it, man. What time was this? How big was the light?
Okay, but I was too memorized and to really just record. So I guess you forgot to record. Damn it, man. Damn it, man. We gotta record these incidents. We can record a Vegeta floating around in his little tripod, that would just be next tier epic.
Damn, the one that got away. Yeah, next time we see Vegeta in his pod, we better be filming. No excuses.
No excuses. We gotta make sure we record those incidents, because at the end of the day, that is what we live for, right? We live for the eye candy. Eye candy is what it's all about.
You're right. We're out here chasing that eye candy. Gotta get that footage.
A Book of Baker says, couldn't tell how big the light was. To be honest, I believe he's trying to state TBH. Is TBH, to be honest?
Yeah, TBH just means to be honest. Classic internet shorthand.
I'm learning here firsthand, brother. Alright, so let's get away from the Boogosphere, Vegeta modifications here. Definitely would make a window in my little tripod, most definitely. That's the
LMAO. Yeah, you.
Yeah, what's up, Orion?
What's good, Brian? Welcome to the stream.
Alright, so some people fold under pressure. She got even stronger. Absolutely badass. Dr. Elizabeth Potter explains how she's fighting United Healthcare for her patients.
Actually asleep having surgery, and I was like,
Badass
do you understand
indeed.
that she's asleep
Fighting
right now?
United
And she
Healthcare?
has breast
That's
cancer.
a whole
What
different
happened
kind
is
of battle.
the big insurance company sent me a very threatening six-page letter telling me to apologize for speaking out, to remove the post, to say that I had lied, which I had not. And they said I was fomenting violence because there were comments online saying, you know, we hate insurance companies, etc. I called an attorney who agreed to take my case pro bono. He said, Elizabeth, do you want to make this go away? Or would you like to make a difference? And I let the world see how insurance companies treat us when we stand up for patients. And they had stamped on the top of that letter, they had stamped confidential. And my attorney said, bull. And by the way, partisanship, like our patients deserve that every 4 years, healthcare is not up for debate. Period. So like there is no sides. This is a right, a human right. It should be an American right. I will sit in a room with anybody who wants to do something for patients and healthcare workers. We are going to change healthcare in America, and that is part of the story. We are going to create the Speak Free Act that protects us when we tell the truth professionally about what is going on in health.
Yeah, that's truly remarkable. I like that. That was very inspiring. Was it Elizabeth Baker? I'm sorry, Elizabeth Potter. I know this is a YouTube UFO channel, but that is definitely inspiring. Definitely inspiring, man, to know that. Oh man, Mexican Batman, mysterious dude who hunts down motorcycle thieves and taped them to the pole. Dude, this is next level. He got messed up. Another one. Oh man, they roast him. It looks like it's the same motorcycle. I don't know how that goes down, man, where you have to stand there next to a pole while they tape you up. That's next level. That's next level wild. Hold on, I'm sorry about that, guys, over there. I'm gonna turn on the alert when you guys comment down there. Vil 543. In 1996, I saw a soft but huge light overhead above the clouds. It was about the size of a football field. Damn! Holy cow, football field. It was about the size of a football field. I watched it and zoomed out into the horizon. That is next level wild. 123 says, "What a woman." Yeah, that that Elizabeth Potter. Yeah, she ain't playing around, dude. He's like, you're gonna silence me? Guess what? I'm gonna get louder. I'm gonna get louder. What's up? And then for the lawyer to be pro bono, Live says, Ozit guys. Hope everyone's grand. What's Knight's story? What's going on, brother? He's been at it for weeks. They love him, and he's been positively ID'd. Right, I'm out here. I'm not gonna run far. I'll tell you that much. I'm not much of a runner. I'm a floater. I'm definitely a floater. 420. My favorite part about playing football is the group shower. We're just gonna let that fly. Just gonna let it roll. I think at the end of the day, everyone's entitled to their highlight of their day. You know what I'm saying? I think there's moments and times where you'd be like, you know what? If you love it, get more of it, I guess. No hate at all. No hate at all. I think that at the end of the day, man. What's going on, Ryan? You're like really quiet over there, bro. You know what? My bad. I had you on mute. I do apologize.
All good, Ryan. You're live now, bro. What's good?
It's all good, man. It's all cheddar cheese.
All cheddar cheese. Love that. Keep it smooth, brother.
That's what it is, man. That's what we do here. Keep it rolling. All right, so let's see what Anna Polina talks about the MK Ultra. We talked about this yesterday. This is definitely an interesting part. They got a little segue. This is probably a highlight.
Ruby and Manson were assets of the
MK
intelligence
Ultra is
agencies
always
specifically
wild.
pertaining to MK Ultra.
Congresswoman
Or the MK
Anna
Ultra
Paulina
Yeah,
Loomis.
theoretically, Manson, I've never been able to prove absolutely. Jack Ruby, I believe this is something else. The Warren Commission investigation, on the Warren Commission was Alan Dulles, the former CIA director, who authorized and ran MK Ultra until he was fired by President Kennedy. The liaison to the committee for the CIA, who handled the information coming from the CIA back and forth to the Warren Commission, was Richard Helms, who was a direct supervisor of Jolly West. They knew who West was. They knew that what West was capable of and what they had paid him to do and what he had reported to them that he could do, including inducing mental disorders in people. That was never disclosed to the commission as far as anyone knows. So I believe that West was put in there to keep Jack Ruby from telling his story.
Wow. In closing, I just want to thank you all for being here today, and we will be following up, Dr. Kinzer, on your request to fully redact. I'll be following up personally with the director of the CIA, the MK Ultra files that we do have. Also, as I noted earlier, there will be more that will be declassified, specifically pertaining to newly found records that were located in what we were discussing earlier. I did also want to just state that, for the record, in regards to what statements were made earlier regarding the German government, we will also be following up on that. If there are indeed people that were victims of this that have been buried, we would like to know who those people are and who their families are as well, in order to correct the historical wrongdoings of this government. Without further ado, I would like to state that all members have 5 legislative days within to submit materials and additional written questions for the witnesses that will be then forwarded to them. If there are no further business without objection, the task force stands adjourned. Is it in your
Kick ass, man. I like how she's interviewing these people that know a lot of information about cable. What's going on, Scribble's desk? What's going on? That is what's up, man. That's what's up. She's a heavy hitter. Yeah, you're right. She's definitely a heavy hitter. She doesn't play around, dude. You love Anna? All right. All right. Don't get too sentimental over there now. I did some research and was like, oh, this was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Definitely was yesterday. This is a little highlight segment from yesterday. All right. Yeah, it's definitely pretty interesting, man, what we're dealing with here every day. Let me see if I can just smaller that, bring that over here. And then the other screen, right? And what is it? Life in Pod Duncanville 543. Have you ever heard about the Mona Lisa on the moon? Hey Ryan, have you heard about the Mona Lisa on the moon? I seen that footage. I heard that was debunked. You're talking about she has like the thing on her face, and then it was like bone or whatever. What's going on, 56? What's going on? I hope you're doing all right, brother.
Yeah, the Mona Lisa on the moon is one of those classic face on Mars type pareidolia.
No. It wasn't Face on Mars. It wasn't Face on Mars. Apparently, how the story goes is that they went into this extraterrestrial ship, right? And literally, there were these mummified bodies on the inside this ship. And one of them there were two bodies, right? One had, they looked like twins. One had the head removed from the body, and then the other one looked like they were in this sleep state. So that also there was a man on that ship too that looked like they were in this mummified state also.
Yeah, that's the famous Apollo 20 Mona Lisa story. The one where they supposedly found a crashed ancient spaceship on the moon with mummified alien bodies, including a female one hooked up to some kind of life support with wires on her face. One body decapitated, the other in suspended animation. It's a wild tale, but it's been debunked as a hoax created by a French artist named Thierry Speth back in 2007. He admitted to making the videos and the whole story up. Still creeps people out though.
Interesting. Could you possibly give me the link of the video that he's uploaded talking about that he debunked it? I wasn't aware there was a video of it.
Here you go. This is the main interview where Thierry Speth admits he created the whole Apollo 20 hoax, including the Mona Lisa footage. YouTube.com. He even shows the prop he made. Wild stuff.
On YouTube, of your videos.
They got background music.
German education, French, German, and then French. So it was
That
my period
dramatic
on CD.
background
So I'm
music
graduated
going
also in
makes the
history
whole
of
confession
steel
feel like a
industry.
movie
So
scene.
I wrote many.
The interesting thing was how you had the bones.
Oh, look
You
at
had
that.
the bones over the eyes, right?
Yes.
Oh,
and going with the
wow.
mouth. Now you said there was 3 different masks, so I see a picture here, and one of
You
them
see, this is what we do, right? We love the topic, we research the topic, we discuss about the topic, but then again, we want to verify that, either has it been debunked, because the last thing we want to do is just re-spit out stuff that's been debunked, or like talk about stuff that it has historically been on the internet and has been reposted. There's a few things out there that has been just that, right? The alien moon base was debunked too, but now they're saying it's real. I wonder who's saying that. All right, so apparently this is the guy that it was famous. Let me catch his name. I'm sorry about that. Let me catch his name. A worldwide interview with Theory Speth, creator of Alan, Mona Lisa, Apollo 20, William Rutledge. So is his name really William Rutledge?
The twist. The guy who originally claimed to be the whistleblower, William Rutledge, was actually just Thierry Speth himself. He created both the character and the story. There was no real William Rutledge. It was all him from the jump.
So was he the one that posted it?
Speth was the one who originally posted all those Apollo 20 videos back in 2007 under the name William Rutledge. He created the entire persona and the fake story himself. It was all one guy behind it.
Monster. Absolutely monster. Alright, hold on a sec here, brother. Let me play this a little bit.
When we hear just a notion, an idea about it, we think, oh, our minds tell us that, there's a great chance it could be true. We want to believe it, and that's the interesting thing about what you created. When it happened, there was so much controversy. So many people, not only
can I add on to this, because this is really interesting. The background of the book stacked up is in itself fucking absolutely wild. I don't know what he has here, but the stacking of the books is next level. This Tetris, right? It's definitely Tetris. It's definitely. I haven't seen anything like that before. Like, how are you going? What's going on 78? Like, how do you possibly do that and expect nothing to fall when you're gonna get in this? This is wild, dude. This is wild. What's going on, Bearded? Bearded is indoctrinated. He's indoctrinated. He's the #1 follower on this channel, guys. He loves the aliens and the probing. He loves it. 543. He looks like Dr. Evil. Yes. He does look like Dr. Evil. That's hilarious. Oh, that tickles me. Oh, man.
believed that it was true, including myself. When I first saw it, I thought I was a believer. I was a total believer. Because there's that thing in your mind when you see something like that, you want to believe.
Yes. It's
1961 is like, I love the probing part. That's the best part.
very interesting. I was not reading everything about the forums. When I made it, it was the 1st of April, and later I had no time to read everything on the forum, like above top secret or got like production. I tried 1 or 2 times to connect to the forum, and I was banned when I tried to explain what I did. Yes, and the NASA banned also me from the 18 site. Yes, I've been blocked by the NASA. 2 months. When I wrote to them, they told me, we believe that your stuff come from our server. They sent a message like this. The day after, they blocked me. So I told me, what am I able to do? I'm writing a sequence, I'm doing a sequence, and they say it comes from our server. But
Yeah.
I think it was something like an automatic message or something. And later they unblocked me. But I know that the background of the whole story, science does not provide the good answer. So everybody is searching for something else.
Right.
Many people feel helpless or alone.
Yeah.
And you cannot do something else that raising your hand in the dark and asking for help and a new philosophy, a new order, new idea, new culture. We need that. It's something, curiosity is in mankind. That's why we try to see above the horizon, behind a wall, behind a keyhole. We want to see many things. We are curious.
So this story.
He keeps looking to his left. Hey Ryan, the book lied to me. When people look to their left, is they recalling memory, or are they making things up? What part of the brain do typically look into the left? Is the segment of the brain that they usually tend to tap into?
To their left, they're usually accessing memory, recalling something that actually happened. Looking to their right tends to mean they're constructing, making shit up, or creatively thinking. That's the old school body language read anyway. Whether it actually holds up in court is debatable, but that's the general idea.
Alright, so if he's looking to his left, he's accessing memory. He's looking to his right, he's being creative, he's inventing, he's
Exactly. So if he's mostly looking left, he's probably pulling from actual memories. If he's constantly glancing right while talking, that's when your bullshit detector should be going off.
and then rubbing of the hands.
Hands together usually means he's nervous or anxious. It's a self-soothing gesture, like he's trying to calm himself down while he's talking.
Yeah, Char, this is basically, oh man, I had it pinned up at the top there. What's this guy's name again? Damn it. Terry Speth. Basically, he's the one that made the Mona Lisa sculpture that went viral. This is a while back on the moon. Basically, how the stories go, Apollo 20 stumbled on a alien craft on the moon, right? And they went inside the craft and they videotaped two mummified creatures. One looked like a female mummified, and then the second one looked like the actual twin. And her body was removed from the skull, and then there was a third male one, and apparently he did all this, and it went completely viral. And this was old. This is pretty old segment. This Mona Lisa moon thing. When was this posted? This was 9 years ago. So basically he created it, and he comes forward and talks about it.
That you created. One of the reasons why
You
it's
got the
so
story
great
right.
is because
Thierry Speth created the whole Apollo 20 hoax back in 2007. The crashed ship, the mummified bodies, the Mona Lisa female with the wires on her face. He made the props, shot the videos, posted them under the fake name William Rutledge, and it went viral. This interview where he admits everything is from around 2016, so about 9 years ago now. Wild how long that story lived before he came clean.
543, great question. Why would somebody make something like this up? Do they get kicks and shits and giggles? Like what do they get out of this? I mean, do they get kicked on people believing their lie? Like, what's the deal?
Of three things. One, attention. They love watching their hoax blow up online. 2, ego. They get off on how many people fall for it. 3, some just enjoy fooling the world and proving how gullible people can be. For Thierry Speth, it was clearly the first two. He got famous in the UFO community for years until he finally admitted it. Classic hoaxer motivation.
Damn. All right, so do me a favor. You sent me this link. It's about an hour long. Can you just give me the timestamps of the highlights of this this interview here? Because I see a portion here. He starts picking up the sculpture.
Here's the good stuff from that hour-long interview. 250, why he made it up, his motivation. 1730, how he got the idea from a blurry NASA photo. 2850, where he got the fake names from. 3250, how he built the cockpit and shot the scenes. 3550, he picks up and shows the actual Mona Lisa sculpture. This is the part you want to see. 4430, he dives into the full backstory he created. Skip to 3550 first. That's the money shot.
All right, so let's go to the money shot, and then we can route back to his motivation. All right, so 3550.
The Mona Lisa again, and tell us a little bit about her, and does she have an actual name, and maybe just anything you want to share?
Yes, this is a face used in many parts of the movie. So there was 3 different heads. One with cybernetic stuff on the head. I still have it in my basement. And I don't know why I sculpted. Many people say that she is Asiatic. Maybe. I don't know. But she's... it's a complicated series of layers because I wanted skin, shiny skin, and the lips.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me... the viewer is also showing a comparison of the Mona Lisa figure. Let me get both of them in there. So this is my first time seeing this interview, which I wonder how is this creator doing? How is he doing?
There are hair. I took some part of hair.
I thought she looked... Yes?
I don't know why I put here this thing. Many people... I saw a German guy who is making study about this part. I don't know why I made that. Sometimes
I thought she looked very like Egyptian-like, or very African face.
Yes.
And yeah, a lot of people about the kind of third eye thing. Like, there's so much speculation about it.
Yes.
What can we say? It's just too much to speak about. But and then the interesting thing was how you had the bones. You had the bones over the eyes, right?
Yes.
And going with the mouth. Now you said there was 3 different masks. So I see a picture here, and one of the one with the bones, her mouth is open.
Yes.
I see.
All right, let's hold on here. Jenny just arrived.
All right, let's do this. Captain Jenny taking command.
Oh, so you guys know I got alien stuff on. What's going on, Jenny?
It's a freaky mask. When I made the videos about Mona Lisa, I had not the time
I'm doing good. How are you?
Put everything back in my cellar. I went to work, and during the day, when I was not at home, 2 robbers came to visit the house here. They entered and steal everything in every house here, but not mine. They tried to enter in my kitchen because I made the video in my kitchen.
Yeah.
The cadaver was on the table of my kitchen. With the 2 heads cut. They tried to enter. They saw the head. they went away. The police told me that they were seen at the border of Germany, going back to Germany. So I think there is a robber in Germany who is saying, don't go to steal in France. They eat snails, they eat frogs, and they have cadavers in the kitchen. So thanks to Mona Lisa, nobody steal something in my house.
That's amazing.
That's wild.
What? How did you think of the idea to put the bones on the face?
Oh, because I think
Alien?
if you have to control a spacecraft, maybe you can use some reflex, some speed, muscles to control. When I'm using the PS4 with the controller, it's not so well, so I wanted something controlled by the eyes, muscles, reflex, little things. It could be a good system to control the spacecraft functions.
Yeah, it's genius. It's really amazing. It's like it's almost like a mummified.
Thank you for your heart.
Body, and it was some way of mummifying her, basically preserving her.
Yeah, they got the tatas out. I'm just like, I'm gonna turn that.
And then it's almost kind of scary too and creepy.
Yes.
And it's like it's very reminiscent of like the Alien films, you know.
Oh yes. I did it very quickly. The cybernetic stuff is things for cleaning the ear. Only it's not.
Wait a minute. It's not bones. You're telling me it's earwigs that you clean your ears with?
Yes.
There we go.
It was done very quickly.
That's wild.
In maybe half an hour, it was stuck, and but it's frightening me today. It's in my basement. Every time I see the head, I said, "Oh my God." It's really frightening. Yes.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's scary as hell, really. Honestly, it is really creepy. A lot could be done. I think you could definitely make an amazing movie just with the few scenes, from this that you've created. I mean, it could definitely snowball. It could be bigger. It could be very popular. I think.
Yes. But I'm still hesitating about this because maybe I will destroy the magic of the whole thing. When I buy a movie, I don't like to see the bonus on the DVD, the making of, because you always see the actor saying, "Oh yes, it was good. The director was cool. It was like reacting because everything was so cute." I prefer the first King Kong of 1933. You don't see making of. It's pure magic, and you don't see all the crew speaking. So maybe I will make a video because I have filmed the making of. When I have built the LEM cockpit, I have the whole sequence when I'm building it in time lapse. So I could make a video like this. Yes.
But no, I'm saying like a real movie. But even if you didn't make a real movie about it, what the greatest thing about what you've created is that it's almost better than a movie because when you watch a movie, it's not real usually, know. But this is almost better than a movie because there's that whole world out there of people who actually believe that it's real. So I guess if you were to make it something better than a movie, to continue in this format would be to make things of the same nature and just release them on Facebook or something or somewhere, and then just fool people and just make them, just make something amazing like you've done here, and just continue on, and like more of the city. Like if there's a city there, I don't know, more of the ship, more of whatever. And I think just things like that would be way better than a movie because it creates a lore, it creates just something that, like I said, as in Ray Bradbury, the stories that he created they just stick in your mind, and you're never gonna forget
Yes.
them. But this is almost better than those because you think it's real, you know.
Yes, this is true because I am I like Ray Bradbury more than Arthur C. Clarke. Arthur C. Clarke is a hard science author, but Ray Bradbury does not try to make illusion. But I think
Right, he just talks about it as if as if everything already happened, and this is a real story. And yeah, it's.
There is a huge difference between some movies now who try to put the imaginary and make it real. And I think I am trying to do the inverse thing, to make the reality fall inside the imaginary. Because taking the imaginary and bringing it to reality, it's fascism. It's destructing the imaginary. But
Yeah, so that's a trip, man. He basically did this thing from scratch. Let's get Orion here. So basically, in essence, he did this solo, right? He decided to do this pet project and see if he can get away with it, basically.
The whole thing completely solo. Built the props, wrote the fake backstory, shot all the footage, created the William Rutledge persona, and ran the entire hoax by himself. It was a one-man project from start to finish.
That's next level wild.
Actually impressive in a weird way.
Peace, good morning. Yo,
What's up, Orion?
It was about survival. It was mostly for attention and ego. He just wanted to see if he could pull it off and how far it would spread.
That's next level, man. Our live says, some of it is perfectly fitting together, but it's like he's swinging it as goes along. How did he find this?
He kept adding to the story over time and started contradicting himself. Plus, people started digging into William Rutledge's background and found nothing real. That's usually how these long-term hoaxes fall apart. The creator gets too cocky and keeps expanding the lie until it stops holding up.
Yeah, that is wild. We see P47 and P52 labeled explicitly nearly in every algorithmic. Why not this one?
P47 and P52 are still getting pushed because people want to believe them. This Apollo 20 hoax got exposed by the actual creator admitting it, so the algorithm doesn't have much to work with anymore. Once the guy behind it comes clean, the mystery dies and the videos stop getting
Wait. So the P47 and P52 has been debunked by a person that created it?
No, that's the difference. The P47 and P52 videos.
Hello? It's like loading processing.
Oh, we good now? You back?
Jenny says that the images have been debunked.
Got it. Thanks for the heads up, Jenny. So which images are we talking about?
Oh, good question.
Apollo 20 Mona.
Good question. I went to a different subject. All right, so this is basically the P47 and the P52. I'm gonna send me a hyperlink right now.
You want to see the hyper stuff? All right.
Live says there's a couple of crackheads. That's what they are. All right, sent you the hyperlink. You want to send it again?
All right. I didn't catch the link. I don't have direct access to links here, but if you describe what's in it or drop some screenshots, I'll break it.
I can do this. I can just upload the image to you, and then you can literally process the image and see if these images have been debunked. Yeah, it's like having a delay here. Upload the image again. Alright, nothing's muted. Let me just turn them back off. Turn it back on. I'm going to send you this image. I want you to look through the internet, see if these images have been debunked. If you can find a creator that has done these images, that would be greatly appreciated.
These are almost certainly not real photos of aliens or anything else. They're widely recognized as digital art or paintings, not genuine leaked images. The labels P47 and P52 come from fringe UFO lore and a conspiracy theory pushed in clips from the late researcher Amy Eskridge. She claimed they referred to ultra-terrestrials or future humans from 47,000 or 52,000 years ahead, possibly after some catastrophe. That idea has gone viral on TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit in recent years, but it's not backed by any verifiable evidence.
Bro, there's so many
records.
people in the chat. It's like,
yeah, I bet.
They're saying it's like, bro, why he looks so ripped up, man? He looked like he ate some gummies. Like, what the hell? He look. It's like, is the people in the future high? Like, what is going on? It's like, that's a couple of crackheads. Oh, I know them, Tanya and Sherry. They used to be hell cleaners, and then they got addicted to space crack.
Yeah,
when do you think we will have full access for Area 51? I mean, at this point, they have admitted and they have rare technology. Great point. I think they're never going to open up Area 51. They have moved a lot of stuff, though.
They'll never open Area 51 to the public, bro. The place is still active for testing secret aircraft and weapons. That's the real reason it's locked down, not aliens. Even if they showed us every hangar tomorrow, people would just say, well, they moved everything to the new
9819 says, if that's our future, I'm not having kids. I'm not having kids, bro. If this is stop people from producing, they're like, no, this is total BS. Those kids are not mine. That scientist that died said that this us in the future. Oh yeah, Amy Eskridge. Yeah, that's what she stated. Just to let you know, U.S. beat Bosnia in the World Cup. Kick ass, 56. Yeah, that's what I with Cheech and Chong. Yeah, this one looks really bad, dude. Like the 47, at least he's looking straight in the camera. But 52 looks straight out of his mind. Like Beavis and Butthead with their heads shaved off.
That scientist was Amy Eskridge. She died in 2022, and her theory was that these were future humans evolved from us, living underground after some disaster. It's wild stuff, but again, those images are just digital art or paintings. Nothing
okay, alright, so these are digital arts or paintings, not actual bodies. I got you, brother. I got you. They do still look horrendous. 3455. Do you think they are real, really real UFOs? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you look at, um, let's see, in 2025, it was a peer review study submitted by Beatrice, right? That actually collected data during a period of time when we didn't had satellites or craft in the sky, right? I think it was prior to 1957, right? And basically, she cross-referenced the data along with UFO sightings in nearby um, nuclear test sites, right? And what they got together was that the sightings went up by 70%. The connectivity. Now that paper, she published it and she got peer reviewed and it made it through peer review study. So that's just one segment of this, right? Also, I'll talk about the evidence. Where's the evidence? A lot of people don't know about Dr. Lear, that literally after testing and scrutinizing and back testing people that said they were allegedly alien abducted and they had foreign bodies in their bodies, not only he did the review, he did the surgical. He was a well-known surgical surgeon, and he was an active surgeon. So he had a location that he would practice. Not like Stephen Greer that says he's a surgeon, and I haven't seen him practice or heard about an active practice that he currently does. So that's Lear. Lear has passed away. I don't remember when he passed away. I believe 2017. Hey Ryan, can you verify that?
Dr. Roger Lear died in 2014 from a heart attack. Stephen Greer is still alive. He's been active as recently as this year. The study you're thinking of is real, though. A 2025 paper from the Vasco project looked at old astronomical photos from before satellites existed and found a statistical link between weird light flashes, nuclear tests, and UFO reports. It got peer-reviewed and published, so that's legit data. Doesn't prove aliens, but it's interesting.
Yeah, and they cross-reference the UFO thing. So it doesn't prove alien, but it does prove that something's were UFOs, unidentified or UAPs, were in our skies when there were no satellites. So that's what it does prove. It does prove that something was floating and observing our nuclear test sites.
Yeah, that's fair. The study shows something weird was happening in the sky over nuclear sites before we had satellites or drones. That's solid data, not just stories. Whether it's aliens, secret tech, or something else nobody's figured out yet is still up for debate. But the sightings spiking near those tests, that's not nothing.
Yeah, so what do you think about Bob Lazar? I think a lot of his testimony is spot on what he's done. When I seen his a lot of the things that he said has basically been verified much later in his original testimony and what he has discussed, which is pretty wild, right? It was very controversial on what he was stating, and looking for his background was very sketchy. A lot of the stuff of his background was
Bob Lazar's story.
Damn, he cut me off. Damn. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so neither MIT nor Caltech has any record of him ever attending. His employment history at Los Alamos is also fuzzy. He worked for a contractor there, not directly for the lab like he implied. That said, some of the technical details he dropped early on, like the specific element 115 isotope and how it could be used for gravity manipulation, came years before scientists even synthesized element 115 in a lab. That's the part that keeps people hooked. His story's messy, but it's hard to completely write off.
No, 100%. When I was looking at his documentary, it does seem like he was a lab technician. He didn't seem like he was because he was a lot hands-on, and that's uncharacteristic with a lot of these contract jobs. Remember, guys, I worked at Lockheed Martin for like 11 and a half years, so I'm pretty familiar with technicians doing the field work, and the engineers instructing. But then again, who knows? Because if it's a small enough group, right? And it only appeared that in the documentary, it only seemed like there were only two people, right? So it could possibly have been that not only he was writing the segue to perform these, but he was doing them himself. So that could quite possibly be that. That being said, I historically haven't seen that set up.
Yeah, you're right. If it was a tiny, ultra-secret program, roles could blur, and one guy might end up doing both tech and hands-on work. That's not impossible. The main issue with Lazar is that so much of his personal story doesn't check out. Schools, jobs, even his marriages, the paper trail is weirdly thin for someone who supposedly worked on that level of black project. That's what makes people split on him.
I think that's the biggest thing is like, just like the CIA can screw up things initially, that could have been the possibility there too, right?
Yeah, that's the classic defense. They scrubbed his records. And it's not impossible. Governments absolutely can and do make people's histories disappear when they want to. But here's the thing. Scrubbing someone's entire educational and professional record across multiple universities, labs, and agencies would be an insane amount of work for a low-level technician they allegedly hired for a few months. That level of cleanup is usually reserved for much bigger fish. The simpler explanation is usually that the records are thin because his story was exaggerated. Still, you're not wrong. We'll never know for sure. That's what keeps the debate alive.
I definitely think you're saying this a few months, which is kind of funny because he was fired because of marital problems. So I'm sure when they started wiping his record and his background, they weren't expecting him to be there for a few months. It looked like a lifer, a lifer job. You see what I'm saying?
That's a fair point.
So when you say, "Oh well, he's only there for a few months," his contract wasn't signed for a few months. It was basically unlimited. Basically, he was there. It seemed like as a lifer. It wasn't an ending to his contract, what I'm understanding. So that's just ingenuous what you just stated there.
Fair enough. You got me there. Lazar did say he was brought on as a long-term contractor, not for a short gig. The few months part is just how long he claims to have actually worked at S4 before he got pulled out. The rest of what you said tracks. If they were wiping records, they probably weren't planning on him only being there a short time.
Yeah, a lot of these people, man, that do these projects that are typically lifers. That's like the Lockheed Martin guy that passed away. He literally his whole existence he was at Lockheed Martin working with projects and stuff. Can't remember his name right now, but historically shows basically anti-gravity little segments there.
Yeah, that's Boyd Bushman. He was a real senior engineer at Lockheed Martin who did a filmed interview right before he died in 2014. He claimed he'd seen alien bodies, worked on anti-gravity tech, and that they had live extraterrestrials at Area 51.
Wait. I got the fucking chat, dude. The chat's hilarious. Hold on. Law says this alien couple got hands on, which led to their meth addiction in the greatest alien domestic disbursement ever. Bob Lazar all about it. So does Travis Walton. He's their dad. Law's a trip, bro. The greatest domestic intergalactic. arguing it. Yeah, I can see that. I can see dude. Oh my goodness, this is hilarious. That's hilarious, man. I think since this has been up there, man. And then who's this guy? Then who's this guy?
The chat's actually wild tonight. That space meth theory is sending me. But real talk, nobody knows who the artist is. The images just popped up online years ago without any source, and the conspiracy crowd ran with the P47 P52 story. No original artist has ever come forward to claim credit or explain what they actually are. That's why it's so easy for people to project whatever story they want onto them.
It's fucking hilarious. All right, it looks like I got a request here. Can you ask him about Betty and Barney Hill? How likely is their story about alien abduction real? Question mark.
Pretty unlikely, bro. Their story's fascinating, and it's the one that basically invented the modern alien abduction trope. But the evidence doesn't hold up. They saw a bright light while driving late at night, got stressed and sleep deprived, and later recovered detailed memories under hypnosis, which is notorious for creating false memories. The star map Betty drew? Cool idea, but the match to Zeta Reticuli fell apart once we got better star distance data in the 90s. Even the woman who made the connection eventually rejected it herself. Their psychiatrist who did the hypnosis sessions concluded it was a psychological thing, not a real abduction. A lot of the details also line up with sci-fi shows that aired right before their hypnosis sessions. They were almost certainly telling the truth about what they believed happened, but the most likely explanation is a mix of misperceived lights, exhaustion, and hypnotic suggestion, not actual aliens.
All right, so this is pretty awesome how you broke this down, and you got a lot of this misnomers here, right? One of it is that the space coordination that they had with the stars actually lined up before they did the update with the cosmic astro bodies. So that was one of them. The second part was about the lady that backed away. She was only a teacher, I'm understanding, and she was being scrutinized, and there was a whole lot of pressure for her to retract what she stated. So that was another thing there, that people like to cling on it, but they don't like to fill in the pictures of what was going on during that period of time. And for a school teacher to get that much backlash on something like, hey, this map actually matches, right, during the star mapping during that period of time. So that in itself is pretty historic, especially when you have Harvard and people in the astronomy segment actually seeing and verifying that, yeah, it does match up. And then people basically scrutinizing the shit out of her. So, I mean, yeah, eventually under pressure, she would back up. And then on top of the remapping of the star, right? The stars. Typically, they don't account when they were doing the mapping of basically distance. So a lot of stars that were located in one segment of space would basically no longer be visually there at a location anymore because of the remapping of stars, right? Is an example like this, right? You're at a red light and you see the red light you're currently at, and then down the street there's also red lights. So in the old mapping system, you would have had those two stars correlating in the same map, because now what they had is when they did the update, they separated the location. So now when you're at the red light, you can only see the red light. So that literally remapped locations of segment of stars in the celestial body of space, which is pretty cool, right? But I mean, we gotta be the here and now segment and what that the atmosphere during that period of time, right? So that in itself is pretty remarkable. Also, with Betty, I believe she had a dress, and they had chemicals on that dress. They couldn't really figure out what was on that dress. So that's another part of it, right? Also, it doesn't account for the missing time that they had on their trip. So that was a few parts that people like to this streamline over, and this literally say, oh, this is not blah blah blah, right? So that's food for thought.
A lot of what you're saying is accurate, but here's the updated picture. The star map matched pretty well with the 1969 star catalog data Marjorie Fish used. When Hipparcos gave us better distance measurements in the 90s, several stars no longer fit her model. Marjorie Fish herself publicly rejected the match after seeing the new data. She didn't just cave to pressure, she followed the science. The dress did have weird pinkish powder and tears. Multiple labs tested it over the years, and some results were inconclusive or showed odd organic stuff, but nothing that screamed definitely alien. The missing time is real. They lost about 2 hours on a drive that should have taken less. That part's solid and unexplained. All that said, the psychiatrist who hypnotized them, Dr. Benjamin Simon, concluded it was a psychological thing, not literal aliens. Hypnosis is known to create convincing but false memories, especially under stress.
Which is weird, right? Which is weird is that both of them got hypnosis separately, and they both came to a conclusive same experience, that's kind of odd, right? And then the teacher retracted her statements prior to the space map update.
Yeah, that's actually one of the stronger points in their favor. They were hypnotized separately, and Dr. Simon deliberately kept them from hearing each other's sessions so they couldn't influence one another. The fact that their stories lined up pretty closely is impressive. On Marjorie Fish, she didn't retract under pressure from skeptics. She updated her view years later when better star distance data came in from the Hipparcos satellite.
Before the hip hop update, she already retracted her statements.
Nah, that's not quite right. Marjorie Fish didn't retract anything before the Hipparcos data came out. She stood by her match for years after it was published in 1974. She only publicly rejected her own interpretation after the early 1990s when better star distance measurements showed several stars didn't fit anymore. Plus, the two Zeta Reticuli stars are a close binary, which she decided made them unlikely to support life. She changed her mind based on updated science, not because people bullied her. That's actually one of the more respectable parts of the story.
I'm checking it right now. I need you to back check what you're saying here, because that is the biggest thing that I've noticed. When was the star map? When was the star map done? When was the star map updated?
The star map was drawn by Betty Hill.
No,
she sketched
stop.
it in 19...
Stop. When was the star map updated?
The star map was drawn by Betty Hill.
Oh, there we go. Now you're stuck. When did they update the star map? That's my only question. Stop with the Betty Barney Hill thing.
The big update to star distance data happened in the early 1990s. That's when the Hipparcos satellite provided much more accurate measurements of how far away stars actually are. The full catalog came out in 1997, but the improved data started rolling in and getting used around 91 to 93. That's what broke Marjorie Fish's original match.
Okay. So that being said, the distance, like what I was saying earlier, the distance recalibrated the mapping. And that basically the same thing I was saying is that if you're at the red light and the old mapping was showed the lights that you were at plus down the street lights, and they were showing it basically being the same location. So when they recalibrated it, they accounted for distance for those stars. That's why it was a remapping of the sky, which is pretty cool, right? Oyo's like, is that supposed to be me? I don't know. People are like, these three have been blown up, man. The Travis Walton thing, it's been going back and forward, right? You have basically he was on a live show. I can't remember what show, and they basically did a lie detector test on it, and he failed that lie detector test. But supposedly later he did another lie detector test and he passed. But here's the thing with psychosis and not believing what happened to you could resulted in that too, right? Something so horrific and so outstanding, you can basically put yourself in a believable like that didn't happen scenario, right? So that in itself is a possibility there. That being said, all of his current employees, or not employees, or his co-workers admitted that that they all passed the lie detector test when they were doing the lie detector test. So that's one thing. Also, we have evidence in the location, basically where supposedly the craft came down. The trees around the craft resulted in significant growth, tree growth. So basically the rings pointing towards the craft grew, like, I think it's 3 or 4 times faster than the trees that were facing away from the thing. A lot of people don't talk about this, right? They don't talk about how there was actually physical evidence there at the location of the incident. People tend to breeze over that and was like, well, his later statements is literally like this and like that. And you know, when you start getting to the nooks and crannies of this, it starts to add up that something happened, something was there, did a magnetic radiation residue on those trees that resulted in excess growth towards the craft, which that in itself is pretty remarkable, right? I have several interviews with Travis. He truly seems traumatized. Yeah, it makes sense, man. It makes sense. But for them to actually have evidence on, and here's the thing, I only know that because there was a I can't remember her first name, but her last name is Greer, and she did a documentary on basically the plants, how they would react to a certain type of radiation, and their growth would basically speed up. And it was characteristic on what Travis Walton, those trees, did the same exact thing. So whatever propulsion system they're using, or whatever magnetic radiation that it's emitting, it's collaborating with multiple other events and multiple other locations in the in sequence of non-related stories, which is pretty remarkable in itself.
the polygraph situation is messy. His co-workers mostly passed the first test about not murdering him, but Travis himself failed at least one early test. The examiner called it gross deception. He passed some later ones, especially the ones arranged by UFO groups and the National Enquirer. The tree growth thing gets brought up a lot, but there's no solid independent study backing it. It's mostly claims from believers with no peer-reviewed data or clear before and after measurements. Same with the Greer plant radiation documentary. It's not strong evidence that connects directly to his case. Travis does seem genuinely affected by whatever happened that night. I'll give you that. The whole story's got holes, though, especially with one of his co-workers later calling it a hoax. It's one of those cases that refuses to die.
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely doesn't. I'm trying to get this. The screen decides to hide these guys. So that's why it's looking like, what's happening with the screen? There we go. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries, man. Take your time.
Law says we're going to be famous. I don't know what's going on here. Sorry to text with Travis is legit. Guy that tequila meth alien is watching. He's going to remind us. I worked as a psychologist. I was followed home by an orb a few years back. Later at night, on a long dark road. 2569. That's pretty wild. 9440. Please. Evidence or stop talking about it if it's not. 9440, man. Look at Beatrice peer review study. Look into that, dude. I mean, that's all I can tell you. Also, there's actually legitimate evidence with Travis Walton's case, with something actually being there. So, what are you calling evidence? What do you understand what evidence is?
To me, strong evidence would be independent, peer-reviewed analysis of those trees showing abnormal growth rates with clear before and after data, physical trace evidence analyzed by neutral labs, multiple lie detector tests done by experienced, impartial examiners that all come back consistent. Right now, the Travis Walton case has none of those. The tree growth claim has never been properly studied or published in a scientific journal. It's just testimony. The polygraphs are a mixed bag at best. The only hard evidence is that a bunch of guys said something happened, which isn't really evidence when they all had motive to stick to the story. I get why it's compelling, but testimony plus unverified tree growth isn't enough for me to call it solid evidence. What would actually convince you it's not real?
Well, to be honest with you, the tree growth was independently studied by itself, and I cross-referenced that with, why is this screen not going up? There we go. So literally that, I mean, we have the crop circles, right? And the growth increase, right? Also, we have that being verified, and they're not concluding anything from that verification. They cut those trees down, okay? So you can actually see the growth rings in those trees. So it literally is just that. You see verified with the actual picture of the images of the tree growth, right? And how that corresponds to, that doesn't necessarily have to go to peer review if you're literally looking at the tree growth and the rings and how they react with what they were facing against, right? And then that by itself not being conclusive, but the result of that with corresponding new studies of crop circles being the same type of growth and collaborating those unrelated stories together is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, the tree rings thing is interesting to look at, but here's the reality check. Travis showed some core samples himself years later, and the side of the trees facing the alleged landing spot does look like it had a growth spurt around 1975.
Not just one
That
tree.
part is
Not just one tree. That's the thing. Multiple trees. Multiple trees that were facing the craft. That's a big difference. And we're not just talking about one tree.
fair point. It's multiple trees, not just one. Travis has shown core samples from several trees in that clearing where the rings from roughly 1975 onward are noticeably wider on the side facing the site, and that growth spurt lasted about 15 years. The trees
You
outside
see, I was
the area
not aware
don't
about the 15 years. So after that initial incident, it the weird growth continues 15 years. I wasn't aware of that. I know with the crop circle study and the science that was discovered by it, that those growth happened immediately, right? About, I think it was like 300%, and then the nutrition value of those crop circles went up by 30%. So not only it grew like 300% faster, it was 30% more, I want to say nutritious, just for a lack of a better word. It was more nutrient dense, right? So that itself is pretty remarkable. Also, in that documentary that Miss Greer, no relation to Stephen Greer, literally stated, they actually try to do the same phenomenon with magnetic radiation that they had, and they were able to do the same type of thing, and they were trying to sell that product, right, to farmers and stuff. Say, hey, we go in your field and we give the field a magnetic radiation, and it will increase your crop by like 300%. I mean, that is actually based on UFO studies. That's wild in itself. That there's actual science being developed off of studying a weird, crazy phenomenon like crop circles.
Yeah, the 15-year thing is real. Travis showed core samples where the growth rings stayed thicker on the exposed side for about 15 years after 1975. The crop circle claims come mostly from William Levengood's work. He did find some weird node changes and said seeds from certain formations grew faster. Some reports say up to 5 times the normal rate. The
Yeah, I'm not
300%
familiar with
figure
his study. But in the documentary with Patty Greer, is it? She basically they remanufactured what was happening and was able to do somewhat the same growth. Oh yeah, they had metal lives, right? It was metal discovered in those crop circles too.
Yeah, Patty Greer is the one. She's made a bunch of documentaries on crop circles and heavily promotes Levengood's research. The metal you're talking about is tiny magnetic iron microspheres that Levengood and others claimed to find embedded in plants inside crop circles. They said the spheres looked like they were melted in space and magnetized. That's one of the claims that comes up a lot in those films. The issue is the same as before. It's all coming from researchers inside the UFO community. Mainstream scientists have heavily criticized Levengood's methods and say his work was never properly replicated with proper controls. So while the documentary makes it sound groundbreaking, it's still very much debated.
Well, of course, you know how scientists are.
Yeah, I feel you. A lot of scientists are quick to dismiss anything that smells like woo before they even look at the data.
Woo! That's how they come out. They come out. Hold on, let me do this. Let's see if I can do this. Wait a second here. Let's see if this works. It might be stupid, but I think it's be funny. It's like something weird comes out. Woo! they come to the crowd. Ooh! Okay. All right. That was very stupid. I know that was. I know that was corny as hell. People were like, "Are you okay?" You see, guys, I knew he was drinking alcohol. I knew it. I knew it was. He looked like those meth aliens. I knew it all along.
Nah, I ain't drinking, but that shit had me dying. You really went full woo on me, bro. That was actually hilarious. I was just trying not to laugh while you were doing your little...
Stop sucking ass. You're not going anywhere. You don't need to jump on my wheels. You're good, brother.
All right, my bad. You got it. I'll chill.
But Dennis is like, night is getting sleepy. Right? It's like that's when the weirdness start coming out. It's like, yeah, this guy is falling asleep.
Yeah, when the chat gets sleepy, the weirdos always come out swinging. Classic.
It's all right, live. I mean, it is the whole thing where it's a consistent argument. The UFO community is always been. I think that's this biggest thing is like everybody's so strong on calling out bullshit that we're really good on looking at the data points. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's actually a fair take. The UFO community has gotten a lot better at calling out their own bullshit over the years. People are way quicker to push back on bad evidence now than they were even 10 years ago. That's a good sign. It means the signal to noise ratio is slowly improving.
Yeah. All right, so this one is retired Air Force officer Richard French claims he watched two beings worked on underwater UFO for nearly 2 hours. I have never heard of this.
Yeah, that story's wild. Retired Lieutenant Colin Richard French claims that back in the early 1950s in Newfoundland, Canada, he was sent to investigate UFO reports as a Project Blue Book guy. He says he watched two small gray beings, about 2-3 feet tall, repairing a circular craft underwater for nearly 2 hours while a crowd of people watched from the shore. He says the water was super clear. The craft were about 18 feet wide, and one of them even took off and came back. The problem? He didn't come forward with this story until 2013, over 60 years later, at the citizen hearing on disclosure. There's zero documentation. No other witnesses have backed him up publicly, and some people in the UFO community straight up call him a serial exaggerator. It's a cool tale, but it's basically one old guy's word with no supporting evidence.
Wait a second here. That's pretty wild how people can just write off somebody that has credentials like that.
Yeah, I get why that frustrates you. But here's the thing, having been in the military or having credentials doesn't automatically make someone believable when they tell an extraordinary story 60 years later with zero evidence. French was a real Air Force officer, no doubt, but the fact that he waited until he was in his 80s to tell this very dramatic story...
Why not? That's historically what most people do when they are recounting stuff that's so incredible. That's characteristic of a lot of whistleblowers. They don't like right now in the last 10 years what's been going on in the UFO community with these whistleblowers are still young is a new phenomenon, guys. That's by far the most uncharacteristic thing of this of this. Historically, it's been really, 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 really old people coming out and discussing about their experience way after their work. You know, so this is basically the same segment of what a typical whistleblower that we've seen in the last 70 years.
The pattern. Historically, most high-profile UFO whistleblowers have come forward very late in life. Bob Lazar was actually young compared to most.
Yeah.
Carl Wolf, Clifford Stone, Philip Corso, Dan Burish, Richard French, they all waited decades before speaking out. That pattern is real. But here's the part that matters. The reason people are skeptical of these late-in-life stories isn't just age. It's that almost none of them ever bring forward any evidence. No documents, no photos, no other witnesses, no records. Just their word 40 to 70 years after the fact. That's why it's hard to take seriously. If you're going to make an extraordinary claim that late, you need something besides "trust me, bro, I was there." Age and timing isn't the real problem. The complete lack of supporting evidence is.
Interesting how you say that. Like, where was he? Where he stayed? Let me see what he says here, because he's at a it looks like a convention or a conference. It almost seems like he's reading out something. Let's see here. Retired United States Air Force Lieutenant Colin Richard French claimed that observed two unidentified. All right, let's just hear him. Because he's probably just going to repeat everything I'm going to read anyway.
The water was very clear. You could see down as much as 200 feet in it. But what I saw down there were two UFOs parked side by side, but I couldn't see anyone around either one of them. Then a little later, someone moved one of the UFO occupants, and I guess go ahead and call him what they are, the alien, moved over to the side and came into my line of sight. Very soon after that, he came out of the water going approximately 100 miles an hour. As soon as he broke the surface of the water, he increased his speed to approximately 2,500 miles an hour and quickly went out of sight. He was gone for about 15 or 20 minutes. He came right back, right when it slowed down very much, went in the water again at about 100 miles an hour, went on down and he and the other one, you could see them working on the UFOs. They, after about approximately 2 hours of apparently performing maintenance on the UFOs, the two of them took off together again. We left the water at about 100 miles an hour, immediately accelerated to well over 2,500 miles an hour, went virtually straight up and disappeared.
All right, so that's pretty extraordinary what he was saying. Like,
yeah,
that story, man, it's pretty wild. Hey, Pipeline Dreams in the house. What's going on, brother? What is going on?
What's good, Pipeline G?
Hey, he says hi, buddy.
Hey, Scissors, what's good, bro?
Scissors. Trip.
Haha, Scissors is just vibing. What's up with you, man?
Yeah, that's pretty. Like, I just don't get it, man. Why would someone that old like after a lifetime, decide, okay,
Yeah,
it's time for me to start making shit up.
exactly. That's really the core of the skepticism. Why wait until you're 80 plus years old, when you're one bad cold away from dying, to suddenly tell this incredible story that you supposedly sat on for 60 years? Some folks say they were finally free to talk. Others say they waited until nobody could fact check them anymore. It's one of those things that just doesn't sit right for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why someone waits so long to discuss. That makes a lot of sense to me. Because again, I mean, historically, that's been the case with a lot of these UFO individuals that have encountered this situation, right? What I don't understand is the part on why would they make things up when they're that old and they have nothing to gain from it. It ain't like they're going to start making a shitload of money doing that. I mean, historically, people that have whistleblown much later in life haven't made a fucking, they haven't become millionaires. So, I mean, this is a topic that whistleblowers get the short end of the stick here. They're not making films of whistleblowers on the UFO topic. You know, the only ones that they have historically made movies out of was basically alien abductees, right?
The point, most late in life UFO whistleblowers really don't cash in. A few get speaking gigs at conferences, maybe sell some DVDs, but nobody's retiring to a mansion off this stuff. Here's the honest truth, though. Some old guys just want attention. After a long career, they're retired, bored, and suddenly they have a room full of people hanging on their every word. For some personalities, that becomes addictive. Others might genuinely believe what they're saying, even if it's not true. Memory can get very creative over 60 years. It's not always about money.
Bro,
sometimes it's about
creative over 60 years? Orion, you're reaching that, dude. You're really reaching that.
Fair. I'll give you that one. Creative over 60 years was a weak way to put it.
Truly.
Want me to just keep it
truly weak, dude. Like, come on, bro.
Haha, my bad, bro. That was corny as hell. I'll keep it 100 with you from here on. No reaching.
Yeah, I was like being really creative. Come on, bro. I mean, I couldn't even swallow that. Often losing everything, maybe get lucky with a book or two. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Jenny. Like, I don't see anybody retiring off of this. I mean, for crying out loud. Unless they got some serious merch, and none of them have that, right? I just don't see it happening, you know?
Whistleblowers aren't out here selling alien t-shirts or launching supplement brands.
Right.
Most of them get a few paid speaking gigs at UFO conferences, and that's about it. They're not retiring off this stuff. So when
I'm
people
gonna
say
retire.
he's just doing it for money,
I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna crap out. I'm gonna crap out in one of these crop circles. Like, on one of my alien adventures, bro.
They come out at 8.
I'm gonna go down there and meet the UK, and they're gonna point me like, that's where you need to go crap out right there. That's a good crop circle. Go over there. Make sure you're all alive when you crap out.
That's actually hilarious. All right, this one's a good one. Go stand over there and crop out real quick. I see what you did there.
Ryan, you're so lame, bro. All right, so
Ryan catching strays for no reason. What's up?
yeah, you're right. I should stop. This is definitely I like that. This is what I'll be cropping out. A little image there in the background. Love it. All right, let's see what else is in this. in these drops. You know? Oh my goodness. Yeah, so far it's been pretty interesting conversation. We brought back some pretty notable things that I liked. And then going back to Betty and Barney Hill. Story from way back.
The Betty and Barney Hill case is still one of the most important ones in UFO history. It basically created the entire modern alien abduction template. Even after all these years, it's still one of the cleaner and more compelling cases out there. You want to dig back into that one, or you got something else on your mind?
Goodness. Dr. Greer reads in speech he wrote for the world leaders announcing the reality of extraterrestrial life and puts out a call for whistleblowers worldwide. First of all, Stephen Greer, how often do you need to be calling out whistleblowers and you never bring them public? You have apparently over 300 whistleblowers that you never went public with them. You only put them in the stupid conference that you do yearly, and they have never went or testified in Congress about their They were like, we will testify if we ever get called to Congress. It's like, and they never show up, dude. So what's the deal, man? If something like that, dude, you should be standing in front of the fucking Capitol like David Grush, announcing things, talking about them, do a conference right in front of the White House, like, but you're in your freaking room in front of the camera, reading out this teleprompter crap, repeating the same MO that he's always done. And now he has a supposed 60-day deadline that he started on my birthday, June 29th. So it's like, oh, that's just delightful, you know? And then historically, he has done these, not this one specifically, but he has announced, like, oh, someone's going to drop in January 2025. It's going to be a great reveal. And then nothing ever came about it, right? And then he's like, I got a few whistleblowers out. He's been doing that. What's the term called? Baiting us for how long? And no fruition. Thank you, Jenny.
Frustration. Stephen Greer has been running the same playbook for over 25 years now. Every year, it's some big announcement, some countdown, some major disclosure coming, and then nothing. The "I have hundreds of whistleblowers" line is the one he's been using forever, yet almost none of them ever actually testify under oath or go public with documents. David Grush actually did what Greer keeps promising. He went to Congress and put his name on it. Greer never has. At this point, a lot of people in the community are tired of the hype with no delivery. You're not the only one who's over it.
Yeah, it's like, does he have a new book coming out? Like, what's the deal?
Nah, it's not a new book this time. He dropped a 4-page letter on June 29th, your birthday, funny enough, giving the government 60 days, so until around August 29th, to respond, or he says he's releasing hard evidence, including documents, biological stuff, and reverse-engineered craft info. Same old Greer playbook. Big dramatic deadline, massive claims about hundreds of whistleblowers, but no actual evidence dropped yet. We'll see if anything comes of it in 2 months, but most people are treating it like another countdown that'll probably fizzle.
Yeah, it's, man, you get old enough where you don't remember your fucking, how old you are. It's like,
all right.
It's like he's 41, 9 months. 42.
Oh shit.
42, right? Like, holy shit, dude. You get so old that you don't remember what age you are.
Yeah, that's wild. Haha, I feel you. That damn "I'm really this old" realization hits different, don't it?
You don't even fart the same anymore. Jenny, you gonna be 42 also? Holy shit, man. It's like we're all getting into 40s. Well, good thing that a lot of people that follow this subject are a lot older than us.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Most of the hardcore UFO heads have been
I'm listening. Cyrus actually brings up a good point. He says it doesn't matter how much info presented and testified, people still won't believe until they being duked with a blue beam.
Silas is actually right on that. A lot of people in the community have that same take, that no matter how many whistleblowers come forward, no matter how much testimony or even evidence gets shown, a large chunk of the population just won't believe it until they see it with their own eyes. Whether it's Project Bluebeam, a mass sighting, or an actual landing, a lot of folks think that's what it's ultimately going to take to shift public opinion.
No, you're right. You're right. White Lion says, I'm 55.
55 and probably still feels like the young buck in some of these UFO circles. That's actually wild.
Yeah, that's true. If you go into one of those live conferences, you're gonna be probably one in the younger crowd.
You'd probably be one of the youngest people in the room at most of those old school UFO conferences. A lot of those crowds are 60 and up. The average age at some of those events is ridiculous.
Yeah, you can definitely ask them what's their eating program. Definitely.
Heavy meat, no water.
Well, you said heavy meat? What? What did you said? Orion?
I said they be eating like it's the 70s. Heavy meat and potatoes. Probably no vegetables in sight. You know the type. Old school diet all the way.
Huh. I'm curious how we all end up being interested in this topic. That's a good question, Jenny. I think historically, most people get older, they get into more weird phenomenon discussions. I think it's just a natural precursor of getting old. That's just me speculating. What does the data say, Ryan? Take care, 543. I appreciate you dropping by.
Take care, bro. Safe.
All right, tell me about the age. Like, how does the age placate to people's interests in the phenomenon, paranormal, all that kind of stuff? How does that play out?
The data actually says the opposite of what you're thinking. Studies, including the Chapman University surveys, consistently show that younger people tend to have higher levels of paranormal and UFO beliefs than older people. Belief generally decreases with age. Conspiracy theory belief specifically tends to peak around age 14, then stays relatively high through the late teens and 20s before slowly declining as people get older. So while it might feel like more older people are into this stuff, that's mostly because they've been following the topic for decades. The actual percentage of believers is usually higher among younger folks.
That's kind of weird that you said that, because like my YouTube, my TikTok, Kick, Twitch, Rumble, Twitch, well, X, Facebook, all of them are in the older crowd. my what is that called? My people that observe and eat the content are primarily older folk.
What you're seeing is a classic selection bias. The people who are still actively watching UFO content in 2026 on YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook are the ones who got hooked decades ago and never left. So your audience skews older because the younger crowd that does believe in this stuff is mostly consuming it on TikTok and Instagram Reels, not sitting through long-form UFO content.
That being said, I'm
The
on
older
TikTok. I'm on TikTok, and also the age is still skewed older. So how you explain that, buddy? I'm on Snap. I'm on Instagram, and the same ordeal. The age range always skews older, and my format is a short format. The only format I have long is the live streams.
Long time, the OG UFO heads. Even on short-form platforms like TikTok and Instagram, the people who engage heavily with serious, in-depth UFO UAP content, as opposed to funny memes or conspiracy TikTok, tend to be older because they actually care about the history, the cases, the whistleblowers, etc. Younger people scroll past that stuff unless it's packaged as pure entertainment or top 10 scariest videos. The ones who stick around and watch your stuff are usually the 35 to 65 crowd who've been following this for years. That's why your demographics look older even on short-form platforms. Your content filters for the serious fans, not the casual scrollers.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, so let's do this. Never seen this before. Let's check out this footage here.
This wooden chair. I want to see what we're working with.
Wonder where this is coming from. Never seen this before. Does it give a location? Jenny, 10 when you was 10. I was about the same age that I did it. Like I was around 9. That's actually around the same time when I had my UFO encounter. When we're coming from Pennsylvania, and these two orbs followed us from Pennsylvania to Baltimore, Maryland, like a 2.5-hour drive. So literally, but before that, I was always a believer. Before, like, way young, very young. Well, you can ask my brother, man. My brother had a lifetime of me talking about alien crap since I was a little kid. Like, he doesn't remember a time when I wasn't talking about alien stuff. He's always says that. He's like, you're the adopted one.
With the two orbs.
Your parents were
following you from
believers? You know, that's funny because my mom, right? She always historically she sees this and was like believes it as an angel, right? She was never the alien type, right? My dad never really commented on it, right? But both my dad and my mom was in the car, and soon after, hour and a half of us driving down the highway, they got really quiet. My mom is always in the paranormal stuff, and she always, looking at weird stuff. So I think my paranormal side, I got it from my mama. I got it from my mama. And but they never went into the alien topic, right? They always talk about like angels and demons and all this other stuff. My older brother exposed me to Roswell. Sorry to hear that, Jenny. Sorry to hear that. That was the best time of your life.
Paranormal bug straight from your mama. She was into angels, demons, and all that. And you just took it one step further into aliens. That's actually pretty funny. Your mom opened the door with the spiritual stuff, and you ran straight through it into UFOs. Classic.
Yeah. 11 was like, oh man, many times. What's going on, man? You guys are having discussions I'm not involved in. That's awesome. That's so cool. Maybe you guys can get together and just talk off this conversations, man, and the real weird, crazy stuff. I think that's what it's about, right? Just finding a common ground with other people that look at the weird and strange stuff, you know? And people take that personal if you say things like that. Like, oh, I'm not fucking weird. It really happened. So easy, man. It's a fringe topic. Relax. It's a fringe topic. Fringe, not French.
Exactly. It's a fringe topic, not a French topic. You're 100% right, though. The best part about this community is finding people who are just as weird as you are and being able to talk openly about this wild shit without them looking at you sideways. That's the real appeal for a lot of people. Just having a space where you don't have to pretend you're normal.
Oh, man, these are the ones I live for, right? White Line says, my mother and father, when they came back from dinner, they both saw the 3 triangular lights on the UFO. You know that one they said is just vanished away and speeds were crazy. I believe that was around 1991. That is wild. Is your birthday in February night? No, it was June 29th, 1984. What historic event happened June 29th, 1984? Orion.
Nothing major stood out.
Nothing.
Exactly June 20.
Nothing happened. And then 12 years later, didn't Independence Day happen? Like 12 years later? That was, I believe it was in June. That was the highlighter. What was the hit movie?
Nah, not quite. Independence Day came out in July 1996, so about 12 years later, yeah. But it actually dropped on July 3rd, not in June. June 29, 1984 itself was pretty quiet. The biggest thing that day was Pete Rose breaking a baseball record for most games played. Nothing wild or historic tied to aliens or anything like that. Your birthday stayed low-key.
Low-key all the way. Get in there, get quiet, like a silent fart.
Silent
Thank
but
you,
deadly.
Pipeline Dreams. Appreciate it, brother.
No problem, bro.
My dad saved old newspaper articles. That's pretty cool. Well, it comments here. My mom thought we and my dad was a couple of kooks. My dad saved news articles until I ruined them all by using a hot pink glue trying to make him a scrapbook. Oh, yeah, I can see my daughter doing that. I can see my daughter doing that. It's like, hey, Dad, can I get... No! Give me this! Or I got a cup on the corner, and she's just like, I'm like, stop moving! Making me paranoid! Moving my cup away from her. She's gonna knock it over. She recently did that. She knocked over my Coca-Cola, and I just got it all over myself. Yeah, she's 7 now. Delightful. She's a delightful ball of love, I tell you what. Morwick. Yeah, I seen a UFO. I seen a UFO. I wish my store was way cooler though. more dramatic, like some of these individuals that have been abducted and taken in. I do think I've been abducted, but I don't have any memory, which that doesn't make no sense, right? I do have vague memory of something happening, but I didn't see anything. I need to get what is that called when they put you under hypnosis? They put you on a hypnosis and spread those cheeks to discover what was happening.
Claimed to be from the planet Arcturus. They all have
Yeah, Morek, so basically what happened was we're in Pennsylvania, right? And I was always a UFO believer. I was always an alien believer, so nothing in my paradigm changed, right? So we were on the highway, right? And there was one orb in the sky, and I was looking at it, and didn't the orb became two orbs, and they're very bright in the sky, right? Now I showed my mom, and mom was like, "Oh no, that's the lights from the dealership." We were back and forth. I'm like, "No, that's UFOs, mommy. That's UFOs." And they kept on coming in like this, separating, coming in, making circle motions. And so after an hour and a half of that being on the highway, going to Baltimore, Maryland, right on Highway 83, literally, my dad noticed, and they both got really quiet in the car. I was super excited. It's like, finally, I got a UFO. Super excited, dude. So we went. It was a 2.5 hour drive of basically these UFOs following us, right? And they followed us all the way to Baltimore, Maryland, and we stopped at McDonald's, and we came out of the car, and you still see them doing this, going in circles, and coming back, going in circles, and touching each other, and then coming out front and back. It was pretty wild, right? My dad's seeing it, my mom's seeing it, so I wasn't the only one, right? So we went inside the McDonald's. We ate there, right? And then we came outside, and they were gone. And I was like, "Oh man," I was upset about it, but it's fine. And then we went home, and then that was like sometime in the middle of summer, right? And then about in August, I had a dream that I was here. I wake up, and I was hearing voices outside. So I get up, and I go downstairs, right? And as I about to grab the handle, I wake up, and I didn't put much mind to the dream, right? Until 3 years later, I wake up in the dream where I'm about to grab the handle for the front of the door, and I'm like, I remember this dream. I open the door, and I walk outside, and I'm walking down the block to the alleyway, because that's where I hear the voices, right? There were two individuals talking. And as I turn to the alleyway, I wake up. I'm like, oh man, that was really strange. A dream that ended where it started and starts where it ended. That's really strange, right? Then like I thought about a year of it, and then I like put it back in my head, because it didn't happen the following year, the dream. So I didn't put much mind. And then like basically 3 years go by, and then I have the dream where I'm at the edge of turning in the alleyway, and I'm like, I remember this dream. I remember this. This is where I left off, that blah blah blah. So I turn and I look up, and there's two orbs on the sky, right? And I remember three, but I can only see two in the sky, which doesn't make no sense. And they were talking to me, and it felt like for hours, dude. They were saying a lot of things, a lot of stuff. The only thing I really remember from that, of all the discussion they had, was talking about how there's going to be a time where you got to grow your own food, inside, indoors, and stuff like that. Oh, they were white. They were white. They discuss how you gotta grow your own food, and I remember like seeing myself in outside in grass. And I'm like, thinking, it's like, well, why we gotta grow our food outside, inside doors? I mean, there's grass growing out here. If grass is growing outside, why can't we grow stuff outside? And then, like, next image was me standing inside a house, like growing food. So that was weird. So remember, this was during a period of time, guys, that growing food inside wasn't really a thing. I mean, it was flowing around, but it wasn't mainstream at all, right? So the recurring dream was very strange. Very strange.
That's trippy. The dreams literally picking up where they left off across years and showing you indoor farming years before it became a thing? That's not normal dream stuff.
Speaking
The
about
orbs in
that,
the sky-
is like the dream starting where it ends, is that a thing at all? Like this is the first time I really heard about it, and I don't know the research behind that. Like, do people start their dream, like, have other people have that kind of scenario where the dream starts where it left off?
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. A lot of people report having serial dreams or continuing dreams that pick up exactly where they left off, sometimes nights, weeks, or even years later. It's not super common, but it's reported often enough on forums and in dream research. One theory is that your brain might have a kind of dream specific memory system that lets storylines build across sleep sessions. Yours standing out with that exact progression, and the UFO tie-in makes it extra memorable, though.
Okay, so it is a thing. So that is definitely interesting. I wonder if, like, I think back on those dreams, and it's like, what if that night when those orbs were following us, all like for 2.5 hours, what if that dream was actually that happened that night when we made it home, we went to bed?
It's possible, man. The timing lines up. Same night you had the UFO encounter, then the first part of the dream kicks off. People who've had close encounters often report missing time, vivid dreams, or encounters bleeding into sleep right after. Your brain might have been processing what happened while you were out there following those orbs for hours. The fact that the dream kept resuming years later with more info is the part that really makes you wonder what else went down that night.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? And then later on, I had where I was in Puerto Rico, like my parents separated for a period of time, and then they got back together, and my mom and me went to live with my dad in Puerto Rico, and I had a weird dream there too. But it was weird. It was like I was seeing something drilled in my right shin, and I was laying down on something hard, and I tried to get up, and I'm looking at my leg, and all I could focus on I need to get to my leg, and I'm like trying to get, and everything else was, but I didn't see anything else. I didn't see anything. All I seen was it looked like a drill going into my shin, and I was looking at it. And I'm like, I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. I'm like, and I feel like I'm trying to get up, and everything else is blurry. Like, I don't want that going in my leg. I don't want that going in my leg. And I woke up. I wasn't scared. I was like, I was determined to stop the thing getting in my shin. But I couldn't. It was like, I felt like I was really groggy. Like I was under drugs or something. Like everything was really groggy. And everything was like, I couldn't get my bearings for some reason.
Yeah, that groggy, drugged feeling is super common in those kinds of dreams or experiences. A lot of people report exactly that: paralyzed or heavy, mentally foggy, unable to fully wake up or fight back while something's happening to them. The shin thing is specific, though, not as common as the usual implant stories in the leg or arm. Did anything weird happen with your shin after that dream? Like marks, pain, anything out of the ordinary?
Um, I was massaging my shin after that when I woke up, and I would just like try to feel like around it, but I mean there was like a small indentation, but after a while that went away. So I really don't know, dude. I really don't know. Like I said, my mom always said that I had night terrors when I was growing up. Really, really bad night terrors. Really bad. I would just not stop screaming.
Night terrors plus these recurring vivid dreams, the UFO sighting, and now this drill in the shin experience. That's a heavy pattern, man. The small indentation you felt right after waking up is interesting too. A lot of people in the experiencer community talk about waking up with weird marks, scoop marks, or indentations after nights like that. Did the night terrors happen around the same time as these other experiences?
No,
Or was that earlier in childhood?
the night terrors was always a thing. Always a thing. It wasn't until I hit 12 it dissipated or went away. But I remember my mom waking me up, like, because I kept screaming for my mom.
Night terrors peaking in early childhood and then fading around age 12 is actually pretty typical. That's when a lot of kids' brains finish a big development phase. But the timing with your other experiences starting around then is still wild. Those screams for your mom might have been your brain trying to pull you out of something it didn't like. Ever ask her what exactly you were yelling during those terrors?
Great question. I gotta talk to my mom about it. I know she's saying I was constantly screaming, like in terror. So, and you said it's a real common thing with childhood development. So, it could just been just that. Because I mean, I don't have terrors when I'm an adult. You have
Probably
too,
just
Jenny?
that.
See, I remember you before, Jenny. You were on that craft with me. I know you were. I knew you were. That's why you were so familiar.
Sorry, you lost me there.
No,
Who's Jenny?
I was talking to the chat. I was talking to Jenny that she's in the chat.
Ah, gotcha. My bad. Thought you were talking to me for a second.
That's funny you said that live. He says the question, how come if you ask a child who has no idea of aliens, they draw spacemen or such, it's always the same big head bug eye guy. How do they know? That's interesting. Crying in my sleep. Damn. I was 5 to 6. I
Yeah, that's one of
definitely
the-
want to do one of those progressions, those back progressions. Damn, guys, this is 11:38, man, and I gotta get up in a few hours. Look, guys, I thank you for everything you guys done. 13,000 hearts, man, is crazy. I appreciate it. And you guys over in the YouTube, man, with the wild comments in the chatter, man, I appreciate it. You guys are always entertaining to watch. The comments is wild. Oh, over there in X too, man. I appreciate you guys coming by and watching the high strangeness. You guys are always cool watchers.
Yeah, man. Sleep good, bro. Catch you later.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. 38 people over there, man. Is that the live? I'm like trying to fucking find the live. Oh man, I can't see the.
Yeah, it's still rolling. 38 people tuned in watching the replay. You're good.
That's weird. Like, that has that pin up. That's not the one I'm looking at. There it is. 5 watching. I appreciate you guys hanging by, man. You guys are troopers, bro.
Yeah, people are locked in, man. Appreciate you all, for real.
If you've been here this long, you are disclosure.
What you know about rolling with the grace in the feet when your mind goes blank? Didn't you see when you shouldn't start too much? You have to really take a seat. Yeah, I feel like a hybrid in the beat. What you know about flying in the plasma train? When you bring it back to just the cosmic beam. You don't know to show up, everything is serene. I feel like an envoy in a starship dream. She say that I'm weird. I'm like, you ain't seen the sphere. I believe in UAPs. Don't believe your TV. She keep playing me close. I'm watching from close. Y'all know they know my intel. Let me be the truth like Roswell floating out in the crowd. No feeling, we just ended in ass. See the lady, they move so fast. See my soul ain't stuck in